Hello, and welcome back to the Global Falcons podcast. I'm your host, Andrew L.G. Hunter.
And I'm your other host, Angela Hunter.
And we're bringing you the stories of the week. The stories of the week this week are AI zaps weeds while saving crops. 5 ways the bioeconomy is featured in our daily lives.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yes. 4-day work week. Is it part of our future?
Yes.
Possibly. I think so.
I hope so.
I've already rolled that out in my business. So
yeah. And the last one is restored Amazon ecosystems beat logging.
For the record here, before we really get into these, we literally just did this whole podcast, but we realized we didn't have our mics on.
Yeah.
So not great. So unfortunately, I'm not sure if we're going to hit it all again because we had some really great things to say before, but we'll try our best because we're here for you. So this is why we do it. AI zaps weeds while saving crops.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Right? Isn't that? AI is being used for everything now. Every industry, every country is adopting AI, and it's happening more and more every day. And well, as you know, every week we're telling you more and more.
And I really like how AI technology used in one industry can be used in a different industry in a different way. The same sort of technology.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we see with this weed zapper.
Yeah. The weed zapper, well, I'm calling it the rover, but it's called the Concentrated Light Autonomous Weeding and Scouting. Their nickname for this? Claws. The Claws.
The Claws. Yeah, we had talked about the aliens from Toy Story. The Claws.
Yeah, the Claws. We always reference movies. You're going to see that more and more. We think it's hilarious. Movies are great. It's such a part of our culture now. And we also believe that it shows you a lot of what's going to be. It gets the people ready. And that's exciting. Because you never know what you're going to see, right? And then, you'll see. We'll get into it more. I'm sure you already know. So what does the Claws machine do?
So it uses a concentrated light to zap an energy pulse into the ground where it detects weeds, because it uses image processing to pick out what the crop is versus what the weed is, and it can tell with the AI, and then it sends that energy zap to the weed, which protects the dirt and stuff.
Yeah. Wow. And these things look eerily similar to the rovers on, and that's why I'm calling it the rover, but the rovers on Mars. It's very interesting. I've seen how they use them there. They're quite slow. These ones go a lot faster, so much faster on our planet than Mars, is they can cover 4.5 hectares of land a day, zapping these weeds with concentrated light. This light is kind of like a laser, but it searches for whatever weed is out there, anything that's not what the AI knows the plant to grow like, right? So any process in between the beginning and the end of this of a plant's growth cycle, if that doesn't match up with what it's seeing, it's going to zap it out of there. I think this is going to start being used. I keep saying but I think these are going to start being used on lawns for
like landscaping, like mowing.
Yeah, because we already have these things like the little Roombas that go around, but there's a lawn mowing version of it. It's going to take care of your lawn and your weeding before the other one could just cut. Well, you could have so many weeds growing. It's out of control, right?
And I hate weeding.
Yeah, everybody hates weeding. It takes so much longer. And that's the thing of what AI is here for, right? It's not just your weeding and these little chores you don't like to do. It's going to revolutionize your entire effing life. It's used by, or solar power is used to
power the machine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it uses solar and battery, so renewable energy, which is really key, especially for just moving to that net zero emissions and things like that, the push is for.
Yeah. Well, by 2030, everywhere is supposed to be more eco-friendly or green-friendly. What's the actual, there's like a saying, it's like net zero. Everyone's supposed to be net zero by 2030.
Yeah.
So you need to think of new ways to do your industry. I was talking earlier about how I use, I think of different ways to build things now than I've previously done before. And this is happening in my industry, the housing industry, throughout the world. People are using different materials to build homes. And how can we do that? By recycling old materials and putting it into homes now.
Yeah, which is what the next topic is.
Yes.
The bioeconomy.
Do you want me to spearhead on that?
Sure.
Okay, 5 ways the bioeconomy is featured in our daily lives. The bioeconomy uses renewable resources from land and sea. We still haven't mapped out 95% of our ocean. So I think those resources are going to start becoming more of a thing. So the products, or to produce products, resources, and energy. That's the whole objective here with bioeconomy.
Yeah, using upcycled energy waste. So
yes, that's the buzzword, upcycling.
Yeah. So the first one is energy. So using food bio-waste to produce energy in the form of ethanol and using that as a gas for like heating homes and whatever else they use it for. And then you're sort of pulling less non-renewable resources out of the ground and using up this waste that would otherwise just be sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now we use natural gas. And no, this isn't going to affect all of our infrastructure for homes and your furnacing, your heating. It's not going to affect that. It's actually gonna make it better. And they're just going to, where it's tapping in and then sending it to your home, that's the only thing will change. So you're not going to have to get a new furnace. You're not going to have to get a new home. You're not going to have to dig up your lawn for the infrastructure. Don't worry. It's just going to be tapped in where it already comes. Okay. Also food. This affects food. Drought and virus-resistant crops keep food on the table. Okay?
Yeah, so making the plants like insect resistant and things like that by genetically modifying them, and then you don't have to use pesticides on them. And but like genetically modifying, we've sort of seen how that's been used in the past, and maybe not as great, but hopefully with AI, it can change and see these outcomes. Because we were talking before, like the hormones that they pump into food, and that goes into your system, into your waste, into the water, and back through your system, and we just don't know the long-term effects of that. But hopefully AI can help model that, see the long-term effects, and then figure out how to change that and change the way we eat.
Yeah, I would stop drinking your tap water. That's just my opinion. I don't drink a drop of tap water, and there's many studies out there that show why that's bad. Textiles, though.
Yeah, so they're using bacteria to make dyes instead of the traditional ways of making dye, because the bacteria can grow faster and multiply faster, and it actually uses a lot less water when creating these. So we use a ton of water for industrial purposes, and it takes away from fresh water and drinking purposes. So anything that reduces that water usage is going to be really key.
Yeah. Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go on to beauty products then.
Okay.
Well done.
This one was about that hydrolonic acid that's used in wrinkle cream. So typically they've been getting that from rooster combs, and so that's killing an animal. That's sort of, it's a renewable resource, but I mean you can't just infinitely have that. So they're using new way of making that with microbes and making it artificially. So I think that'll be, I mean, good for the roosters at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any other like beauty products?
Well, there's a lot of beauty products that use animal byproducts. So being able
Wow.
to make them out of microbes, I think that could change the beauty industry because they've done testing on animals for so many years, and like PETA and organizations have done good to sort of bring that to an end. But of course, it still happens. So
Jeez. Yeah.
just finding ways to stop that.
And that's what 2030 net zero agenda is about as well. You know, our flora and fauna. We need to protect it, and we need to invest back into it.
Yeah.
The U.S. bioeconomy alone is worth $1 trillion today. Like that's a pretty big economy, you know. But it's estimated to grow to $4 trillion over the next 10 to 20 years. Canada, our bioeconomy, it's worth $150 billion. So I think Canada, we really need to step that up.
Yeah, gonna put more into that.
Yeah.
Catch up to the rest of the world.
No kidding.
They did have another one on there, the bioplastics. So they can actually make bioplastics that degrade, and they can use food waste and vegetable fat to do that too.
Wow.
So food waste can just do so many things, and it's just waste, and we've just been throwing it out all these years.
Yeah, and waste we're seeing now is money, right? That reminds me. Yeah, that reminds me. Okay, so plastics, these bioplastics, so the reused, melted down waste, and it turns into plastic. In 1972, this was happening in,
India.
Thank you. In India, and they made one whole road with, I don't remember how many kilometers of one road was, but it's been 60 years. That road's still there. One of the best roads in the world. Plus, they made 33,000 kilometers more of road out of their waste. That's intense.
That is very crazy.
Yeah,
and good for them.
Yeah, I mean, we live in Saskatoon, and we have potholes everywhere. And it doesn't matter how many times not we, like we're not the ones doing it, but the city or whoever's on that project, it always has to be redone, and it never lasts.
We are literally known across the country for our bad roads.
Yeah. Look us up, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, all of Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Well, we still have the Amazon ecosystem though.
Oh, the 4-day work week.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And the 4-day work week.
Yeah. So the 4-day work week, this is specifically talking about in Iceland on the stories of the week. So before COVID, they tried to do something like this and no one was really interested in it. But after, in 2022 and 2023, they made an optional 4-day work week, and 51% of people opted in to try it and loved it. Yeah.
My business, we already do that. 4-day work week, sometimes one. I'm kidding.
No, but like people are more productive because they're more well rested, and it's increased worker happiness and reduced stress. And like, I can't even tell you how bad stress is for your health. Yeah. Like it puts such a strain on everything. So if you can reduce that in one area, it makes like a ripple impact through your life.
And work is such a large part of your day, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a big thing. I think people should get on that. And because in my industry, the pack up and take down of each day is always time consuming. It takes a lot of time, right? So if you can just extend the day, get more hours in one day, you're actually, in the long haul, you're getting more actual work done. And that's where things get more profitable. Employees are easier to, excel the ranks.
They've actually seen an increase too in child happiness at home, just having that extra time with parents. And then the parents are finding a more equal splitting of chores and like child time, because it seems like more available free time, and you can just build the family unit together. And I think that would be a really nice big change.
Yeah, well, Henry Ford was the one who like really pushed for this 5-day work week. Before that, everyone worked like 6 to 7 days a week, like the whole week. everyone just worked all the time, right? Their life expectancy was much lower. But man, what a visionary guy, right? Just one guy came up with that. Imagine what the 4-day work week will give to you. If 5-day gave everybody homes, well, not didn't just give you, but if the 5-day brought in a suburban lifestyle, the schools, the frickin' just everything around us, right? The whole industrial revolution. And then now 4-day work week, I can't wait to see what that's going to do for our whole world.
And like politicians may be leery of it, but Iceland's economy actually grew by 5%, their GDP, the year they switched to that. So that's a big increase.
Yeah, and man, it's always been about the people. So if it's about the people, making them live longer is probably smarter.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot more output.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's 4-day work week. Now, restored Amazon ecosystem, it beats logging.
Yeah, so keeping the Amazon together would actually be better for their economy than taking it down, because it's such a big ecosystem that really impacts the weather of not only South America, but the entire world.
Yeah.
And it just generates so much water and so much oxygen. So keeping that alive actually betters the economy over the money that you would get from logging the trees or using it for ranching for cattle.
Yeah. Yeah, we already have so much of that kind of land around. There's no point.
Yeah.
You know, keep the Amazon whole. There's actually people in the Amazon who have come together and built an alliance. They are called the Amazon Sacred Headwaters Alliance. They're in collaboration with 30 indigenous nations in the Amazon Basin. This is extremely important. There's some people there that, they're totally secluded from this type of living. They don't even know what a podcast is. And that's fine. And that's great. And we need more people like that, I think, but they've all come together, the bigger ones, and they're going to protect this land. That's the idea here. Because the Amazon has the richest ecosystem in the world. Their soil is so robust with a whole bunch of different minerals, and we shouldn't be touching that. Everything that grows there grows wild and free.
Yeah, and it houses 10% of the species, the animal species in the world. So that's a huge chunk for one area. So very important to keep that going.
Yeah. What are your thoughts of the Amazon, as a whole?
I mean,
keeping like what we just said aside, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I just think it's important to keep it. It's like one of the purest forms of like an untouched sort of ecosystem. Like many people haven't been through it, haven't been there, haven't been into many of the areas. So just having that untouched by the human existence is rare.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different ruins there too that they're seeing now. They've taken. I know this is off topic, but they've taken LiDAR and they've scanned. I don't think it's like a large portion. I think it's like 10%, and that's how big the Amazon is. But in that 10%, they found a lot of like what they presume is underground old ruins, which is very, very cool.
That is interesting.
Because what are we going to learn when we dig those up? How old are they? I mean, if they're older than 14,000 years, that's older than Quebec Le Tepe, right? And that's probably a whole different podcast. But I implore you to look that up. It's very cool. I think we nailed all the topics.
Yeah.
Please write in the comments if you like what you see, how we can improve. We're always okay with criticism.
Yeah.
But usually we like the good stuff. So do that.
And don't forget to like the video, subscribe.
Yeah. We're new to this, but we love it. And we want to just keep bringing great content to you. So on that, I'll leave you and see you next week.
Good night.